What's up, Tea Tribe? This is Alyssa Amoroso, aka Publyssity, who is ready to spill the tea. Because this is Tea with Publyssity. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Tea with Publyssity, brought to you by Mamitas, my favorite tequila hard seltzer made with real tequila. It's only 95 calories with a 5% ABV, so you know it will get the job done. If you saw my Instagram stories this weekend, my dad did a little taste test. I was drinking one of the lime ones, which is amazing because they come in 4 delicious flavors: mango, pineapple, Paloma, and lime. Usually I'm a Paloma girl, but I like them all. My dad was drinking mango. Honestly, you can't go wrong. They are mucho delicious. They come in 4 packs or variety 8 packs. So be sure to get yours and follow them at Drink Mamitas and keep tagging me so we could do a little virtual cheers together. Okay, guys, I feel as though I've been gone forever, even though I really haven't. But with Memorial Day weekend last weekend, I had to record in advance. So I miss being on the mic. I miss talking to you guys. A week just seems too long sometimes to connect with the Tea Tribe. But I'm back in studio with my producer, Mackenzie. What's going on?
Nothing much. I also was like your dad with the Mamitas. I was dying. I was like, he looks like a legend.
Oh, my dad is? I always joke. I'm like, my dad is a stoolie.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
He is so, and he doesn't even know he is.
Yeah.
He is such a boy's boy.
Oh,
we were
yeah.
kind of just talking about this off air, how like manly men.
Yeah.
My dad is just like loves to drink beer, loves to drink tequila, real fun guy. 65, acts like he's 35.
Yeah, no, he looked like he was having the best time. I loved it.
We went out to dinner on Saturday night, me, him, and my mom, and we finished at like 10. And he was like, okay, where you want to go next?
Oh my God.
Me and my mom were like, home.
You're like, yeah, we're tired.
Yeah, we were like to bed.
Yeah.
He was, come on, you guys are boring.
That's amazing. I love it.
Jesus Christ. And then my mom gets mad, and I'm like, Mom, look, it's better than like having a farty old husband that just wants to sit inside all day.
100%. Yeah, for sure.
She secretly loves it. So it is hot as hell in New York City. It is a freaking sauna outside. It's actually disgusting. But there's so much I want to catch you guys up on. If you're new here and you're tuning in, let me just give you a little breakdown of what you're getting into. So I start the episodes off with a little personal life update. Then I jump into my guest interview. Today we have Audrey Peters from TikTok. She is amazing. It's a great interview. And then we jump into the Ask Alyssa advice segment where Audrey helps me answer some questions that you guys wrote in. And then as always, we will finish with the Spill the Tea segment where I dish on what's happening in pop culture, and we'll talk about The Bachelor and Logan Paul and Tyler C's bulge and all of that. But first, let me just update you guys a little bit on moi. I had a week last week where my anxiety was probably the worst it's been in like a few months. It was just kind of out of control. I'm feeling much better. I think I've learned kind of more how to pull myself out of it a little bit. So I've been definitely doing a little bit of my self-care scribble sessions, just journaling and letting out my feelings. Obviously talking to my therapist always helps because she's like God sent. And then I kind of just had this moment last week where this is like weird, but I started crying happy tears because I felt just like grateful that I have the people in place in my life now to help me overcome these things. And I realized that like being able to hire people to help me comes with like privilege and comes with, you know, I'm so lucky to have that. So I had this like happy cry of feeling grateful with the fact that I have a therapist who I love. I have a trainer who's like been incredible. I don't like necessarily physically look different, but I've been feeling much stronger. Like now when I work out with him, the first day we did this like warm up and I was winded, and now I do it and I'm like, good.
It feels good. Yeah.
Yeah. So like I just feel I made this word for 2021 when I made my vision board. I assigned like a word to the year 2021 and I made my word progress.
Oh, okay.
And I felt like I did so much self-work in 2020 with the pandemic in terms of like identifying what I didn't like in myself, what I wanted to fix. And then 2021, I was like, I want this to be the year of progress to push things forward. So doing all of these things, like I've just seen so much self-growth in myself, like in the way I'm thinking about food, in the way I'm thinking about my confidence, my body image, the way I'm like physically getting stronger, all these little things. So I feel like I'm making progress, and that makes me really happy.
Yeah.
And then I get messages from the T Tribe being like, you're the reason why I started therapy.
Aww.
Or, yeah, and it makes me feel really good because I feel like we're all on this self-care journey together.
Yeah.
And I might not always talk about it on the podcast each week, but it's something that I'm working on every single day of my life. Like, it consumes me because I just want to, I feel like now that I'm doing the fitness stuff and I've gotten like the confidence and the food stuff, now my next step is like meeting someone.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like, my therapist was like, that's the next thing that you have to manifest.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's the next piece of it for me, just getting back out there with dating.
Mm-hmm.
I actually had a guy ask me on a date on a dating app, and he sent me his number, so I have to text him.
Oh, good.
And maybe we'll
Progress.
arrange something. Progress, right? I know. So I think the dating apps are a little discouraging for me still because I'm not even matching with anyone. And I don't know if it's because I'm so picky and I'm hardly swiping for anyone.
Yeah.
Or it's like I'll swipe for like 1 out of every 100 people.
Yeah.
And then the chance of matching back
is low.
slim.
Yeah.
It's like a little disheartening sometimes when you're like, who is out there?
Right. I know.
It feels really hopeless sometimes.
Yeah, my roommate and I were just talking about it. Like, you kind of have to, it's like that cliche thing where you say, oh, like, it finds you when you're not looking for it. So you kind of just have to like let it happen almost.
I've had this weird faith in the fact that it's going to happen. So that's why I think I don't put that much pressure on dating apps, because obviously like I live my life word by word to what that medium told me, which maybe is me being naive or blind. But you know what? He told me great things. So if I could put my energy into positive stuff, whatever.
Why not? Yeah.
But basically what he said was that my grandma was my guardian angel, and that she was guiding me, and she was going to help me find my person, and she was going to handpick him and bring him to me, and that we would meet in like ironic way. Oh. So I don't know if that could be online. I don't know what that means.
It could be anything.
But in my head, I'm like, okay, he's coming, and maybe that's now that the world is back open.
That's true.
And I'm going out, or maybe it's through work, maybe a friend of a friend, someone.
Right.
You just don't know. So I think I'm just kind of trying to just like trust the fact that I'll meet someone. Like, I think when you feel fully whole within yourself is when someone comes into your life.
Yeah.
And I think I'm like nearing that point where I'm fully getting aligned. So now I'm just like,
you're ready.
I'm ready. That's how I really feel. And I said to my friend the other day, I was like, I feel like it's going to happen for me really soon. And she goes, I feel that way too.
Oh my God.
About me.
Yeah. Like, she just had a gut instinct.
I think because I've just done so much work on myself. So anyway, that's a little personal life update. Obviously, I always am honest with you guys and vulnerable, and I think this is just the stuff that we all go through. And I think there's sometimes like podcasts out there where girls are like, yeah, I went on 5 dates last week and I did this and I did that, and it's like that's not the reality for everyone, and like this is my reality. And I think a lot more people are kind of suffering silently with my reality than the latter.
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely what it is.
Right? Like,
no one will admit it.
I know.
But it's true.
Because I think right now on social media, it's so easy to have FOMO.
Oh, yes.
Like with people in Montauk, people in Nantucket, people flying to Miami, everyone's, because the world is back open up, everyone has like these hot summer bodies, these rich summer plans. It's like, how are these 22-year-olds affording this?
Right,
I don't get it.
It's crazy. And half of them are just like famous from TikTok or something.
Yes.
So I have like so many friends just from that, and they're doing so many cool things, and they're just millionaires.
Oh my God.
But it's just not realistic for anyone else.
It isn't.
No.
And I think even for me, like I had such a low-key weekend helping my parents pack up their house, because they're my parents they sold their house in North Jersey, and they're living in my shore house for the summer. And then at the end of the summer, we're knocking down my shore house, and then they're going to build their like permanent forever home on that same plot of land.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
So we're going through the motions of like packing up our North Jersey house, and then getting everything in order. So I had such a low-key weekend, which I was fine with because the weekend before I went out 3 nights in a row. I was wild. I don't even know who I was. And I had such a fun weekend the weekend before. But this weekend, like, I had to keep reminding myself, like, no, it's good to relax.
Yeah, I had the same thing. Like, on Sunday, I did nothing but, like, clean and work out. And I was like, no, it actually feels really good. I'd rather be doing this than going out and drinking.
And being hungover.
Yeah, exactly.
But then you look on social media and everyone's, like, in Mykonos.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Tulum. I'm like,
Tulum.
how'd you even get there? Like, what are we doing?
Oh my God. And then I'm like trying to beg my friends to go on a trip to Greece with me.
Oh, yeah.
I just want like a single girls trip before we're all like tied down, because Mykonos is like such a fun party place. And I feel like I'm pushing it on them and I need people to get on my level. I'm like, let's go to Mykonos. We've been cooped up for 2 freaking years, basically.
Exactly.
I need to let loose. Like, I want to just let off some steam.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
So I'm trying to go to Mykonos. I'm also probably going to try to plan a trip to LA. So just like, thank God for the vaccine. And as you guys know, therapy is something, obviously, I talk about very openly. And it is something that's serious. And the last year has been so hard on a lot of people. And that's why I'm really, 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 really excited to have a new partner. And it is BetterHelp. And this is actually a partner that I've really wanted to have, because there's nothing I want more than like a code to give you guys for therapy, because I know it could be expensive and I know it could be really, really hard to find a therapist that works for you. I've actually used BetterHelp in the past. So this isn't like something that I've never used or something that I've never tried. It's actually a service that I've used and really had success with. It is customized online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist, so you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. My therapist that I was working with there, we just did phone sessions. I actually never did video, but you can. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you could start communicating with your therapist in just 48 hours. So join the millions of people who are seeing what therapy is really about. It's always a good time to invest in yourself, because you are your greatest asset. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp, and my listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/Alyssa. That's BetterHelp.com/Alyssa. And again, I'm just really excited to have that code for you guys. I hope you take advantage of it. And I hope that you join this therapy journey with me. But anyway, I asked something on my stories this weekend. I was on my way down the shore, just like bored on the train. And I was like, instead of doing a Q&A, because I get so sick of being like, my favorite color is this, my hair, Yeah. I was like, what could I ask people that's fun? So I put on my Instagram stories. If you don't follow me on Instagram, you should. It's a hoot. I put, tell me something scandalous.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking people are going to be like, I peed my pants in 2nd grade.
Yeah.
You guys, the T Tribe is actually iconic. And like, even you guys realize you're iconic, because the T Tribe will DM me and be like, we are savage. And I'm like, we are. So someone wrote in and she said, my first threesome was with a guy and his girlfriend. He had been cheating on her with me for a year prior. So I was like, oh my God. So I posted it and I said, when I said scandalous, this is exactly what I meant. Jaw on the floor. 1, how did you feel being the mistress? 2, did his girlfriend ever have an inkling? 3, how did the threesome come about? 4, did the girlfriend feel FOMO during? 5, did you enjoy it? So everyone was DMing me like, we need updates from her. We need to know. So I'm like, guys, I agree, but like, I'm waiting for her to write into me. There's only so much I could do.
Right.
If she doesn't want to share the story, we're never going to have answers.
Exactly.
So I check my Tea with Publyssity Instagram account, and there she is in all her glory. She's in my DMs, and I was like, wow. Okay, the story is even better than I could have imagined.
Oh,
and it's very long, but you guys deserve the details.
Yeah, definitely.
It really far exceeds my expectations. And some of this, like, I'm going to say what she said on the podcast, but when we're editing this for like TikTok, we might have to bleep out what I'm saying, because
we'll get like shadow banned or something.
Some of it is hardcore. Okay. She said, to preface this, it is definitely not my proudest moment, but I feel like we all go through a phase that is particularly young and dumb, and this was right in the middle of mine. I had known this guy for a while and we were super close friends, but there was always an underlying chemistry. He met his girlfriend shortly after meeting me, but I was only dating girls at the time, so we were happy to be friends. About a year later, me, the guy, and our 2 close friends went on vacation together to a resort. The girlfriend didn't come with. The vacation vibes were immaculate, and so we were all super relaxed. Halfway through the vacation, he pulled me aside and told me he had a huge crush on me, and we made out. I told myself it was just a drunken vacation thing and to not overthink it. When we got back home, it began to become a regular thing that at the end of the night, we would sneak off and make out drunk. Finally, after a particularly wild night, he took me aside and said, "Tonight I'm going to take you home and make you come."
Oh my goodness.
I told you it gets dirty. She said, "We went back to my place and he made me," same word, 7 times. After that, I was obviously addicted, so it became a kind of regular thing. 7 times.
Oh my gosh.
We had been friends for a while and I'm super commitment phobic, so this was actually a pretty good situation for me. I wasn't a huge fan of his girlfriend and I found she didn't treat me the best, so I didn't feel too bad being the other woman. I also knew I wasn't the only person he had cheated on her with, so it was kind of an "it's not me, then it will be someone else" sort of situation. The only time I think she got an inkling was when she saw some messages between us, but he was like, "Oh, she only dates girls," so she moved on from it. The threesome happened after another crazy night out. We partied until the bar closed and then all ended up in the same Uber back to their place. Obviously, who did what first was kind of blurry. But next thing you know, she and I were making out and then he joined. I think the guy and I were smart enough to kind of subconsciously agree that she was the priority that night. Things got pretty wild, ropes, etc. But she was definitely the star of the show. It was honestly super fun, even though the circumstances were not ideal. I would totally do it again, but ideally in a more open and honest situation. He ended up breaking up with her when he realized that constantly cheating on someone for more than half a relationship is probably a bad sign. He and I hooked up a few times after that, but to be honest, some of the spark was gone now that there was no danger. She said, "Sorry if this is super long, but it is super juicy. Totally happy to answer any questions." And then she also said, also, he and I hooked up for the last time on New Year's Eve 2020, so I feel the pandemic may have been my karma since I haven't had sex for a year.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious actually at the end. Wow. That's literally, that's all I can say, wow.
Isn't it better than you thought?
It's also the way she detailed it, is actually so excellent. Like, she gave every single detail that you needed.
But it makes so much, I could wrap my head around the fact that, like, she was dating girls. Because sometimes that's what I don't get with threesomes. If you're not into the same sex, one person in the threesome has to be with someone of the same sex.
Right.
So if you're not into that, how do you proceed?
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But because she was, like, into both men and women,
it made sense.
Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I just loved it. Far exceeded my expectations. So that, my friends, is how it unfolded. I think I want to keep playing this game on my Instagram stories and then make it like a segment on the pod. Maybe we could merge it in with Ask Alyssa, where we just talk about people's like scandalous situations. And I'd love to give my advice or just my reaction, because you guys had my jaw on the floor. People were writing in saying that they were this girl said that she was her dad's hidden family.
Yes. Oh, I saw that one.
So basically, like, her and her mom were the other women.
Yes.
And then he had a whole nother family with 3 other kids, and she never met them, and she didn't think they knew about her. And I got a few people DMing me saying, "I'm also my dad's hidden family."
That's crazy. Did she say that she knew she was the other family, or she found out?
She found out, I think.
Yeah.
But I also know people growing up that were the other.
Really?
I think this happens kind of a lot.
Often, yeah.
Not like, I think people cheat and then they have 2 full separate lives.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I know, which I can't even like have one life and manage it. So I don't know how people have 2 and just completely hide it. Like,
I literally can't even text 2 guys at the
no,
same time.
Yeah, and like accidentally send a screenshot to the person that I was like talking shit about. Like, it's like,
I think women have like less emotional capacity to like do things like that. I mean, this is not scientific, but I think we're more like naturally empathetic, perhaps,
like
than
emotion.
Men. Like, I really mean like the way we're built.
Yes.
Like, I think we men kind of like can compartmentalize things.
Yes, and they can like be emotionless about stuff, I guess.
I think so. I mean, again, there's no science to this.
No.
Who knows? But yeah, so that is the story. I'll do that again with you guys. That was so fun. We are going to hop into the interview with Audrey Peters, and then her and I dish out advice during the Ask Alyssa segment. And then stay tuned until the end because I'm going to spill the tea on Katie's season of The Bachelorette. We're going to talk about Tyler Cameron and his bulge that is making the rounds on the internet. And then, of course, we're going to talk about the Logan Paul Floyd Mayweather fight. Okay, here's the interview. Okay, guys, I am sitting here with Audrey Peters. Peters or Peter?
Peters.
Peters, I thought so. My TikTok/IRL friend.
Oh my God, hi, you guys.
We color coordinated.
Accidentally.
Totally accidentally, but that doesn't surprise me.
At all, in the slightest.
So, okay, I have so many things I want to get into talking to you about, but let's start off light.
Let's go.
We both have curtain bangs.
Oh, a problem I did not ever foresee. I have to now get my hair blown out twice a week. I can't do it on my own. I don't know how you do it on your own.
I'm struggling. I haven't washed my own hair in probably 4 weeks.
Oh, I have done my hair myself twice. I think twice, 3 times.
I can't do it. It's so hard. I just ordered from Amazon like a huge curling iron. Not curling iron. What are they called? Roller. A roller.
Rollers.
So I could roll them back.
Is that supposed to help?
I saw it on TikTok. Like, I don't know. It was $12 on Amazon. I'm like, if this is going to...
Send me the link, babe.
Yeah, right? I'm like, if this is going to save my curtain bangs. But I also did a TikTok today talking about how I look like Lord Farquaad.
But when they look good, you don't ever look like Lord Farquaad. But when they look good, they look so good.
But people don't talk about how much trouble they are.
So my concern here is that when I go on a trip in the summer, because I am...
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to get a blow dry. It's just not going to happen in a tiny little town in France. Like, that's just not taking place.
I love that this is where you're summering. Mm-hmm.
Would you expect me to summer anywhere else?
No, I wouldn't.
Correct. So what the fuck do I do then?
Hopefully this roller comes through.
I mean, I pray to God because otherwise I'm going to look busted. And I'm going to be the only one looking busted in the south of France.
Wait, okay. It's interesting because I feel like there's a few people on TikTok that make their brand about like prestige and like do it well. And like you, stay-at-home daughter, like you guys, well, she's like to a next level. We love her. But like do you ever get flack for that? For people being like, you're rich?
Oh, constantly. But I think that those are the people that are bitter because what people don't realize is I'm completely self-sufficient. I'm 24 years old. I pay dumb rent in West Village on my own. And it's because I don't slack. I work really hard.
Yeah.
Whether it was building my platform, whether it was working my ass off to get a job at a publication, whether it's my current job. So if people want to give me shit, give it to me all they want. But I work hard for what I have. And I think the fact that I make fun of myself constantly, not to sound condescending, but
no, it's true though. You pay for yourself. Like,
I am self-sufficient and it's something I really pride myself in, but also I do a really good job making fun of myself. Like, I think that there are certain people on TikTok that like idolize nice things and romanticize it, but I'm sitting there shitting on their like what your designer bracelet says about you, like what your luxury bag says about you, and I'm sitting there being like, just because you have a Cartier love bracelet doesn't make you better than anybody's sweetheart. And I'm sure your parents engraved it on the inside and it does not mean a thing. Like, I'm sure it's sentimental. Yeah. I have one too. But like, it's a present. Like,
no, totally.
It's a piece of it's something that you wear on your body. If you're going to put like hierarchical, what's the word for that?
Hierarchical.
If you're going to put a hierarchical weight on that, that is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
No, it's so true.
It's just tacky. So if you can't laugh at it.
Yeah.
Then you shouldn't be wearing it.
There's also something about like owning who you are. It's like, yeah, I have nice things. Like, what are you supposed to do? Pretend not to be accepted?
I think there's a way to be humble about it.
Yeah.
Those lines got a little bit blurred for me a while ago.
So, yeah, I wanted to ask about that. I don't know if you're open to talking about it, but you got canceled, quote unquote.
Canceled.
For posting about hiring an unpaid summer intern.
Yes, I did. Well, so I'm not going to throw them under the bus because I would never do that. But the reason that I did it is because another creator who has a similar sized, at the time, platform as me had just hired an intern. And it's not like I'm sitting there needing an intern to answer my emails. Like, I can answer my own emails. And in fact, I'm kind of a control freak. I want to answer my own emails. But I needed somebody because at the time I had a partnership with Overheard New York. And I did these videos where I would reenact the Overheard quotes, which were so much fun. But the first one that I ever did, my friend filmed it for me. And it is so much more work than anybody would think. Like, we would wake up so early so that the streets of New York City would be empty and quiet. That doesn't happen. Even in pandemic, by the time that this was taking place, that wasn't happening. And I had all these videos to film for them more. So the reason that I needed an intern wasn't for literally anything else besides helping me film some videos.
Create content.
Right. And people were so outraged that, like, what the fuck could this girl offer an intern? And it's not like, you know, I'm not some big editor.
Were people not mad about the money? They were mad about the experience?
Both. They were like, what the fuck is this bimbo needing an intern for? Like, she goes to brunch. It was so funny. Like, I remember one time I said, like, I need a vacation. They go, a vacation from brunch?
Oh my God. Because that's what happens when you build a whole brand on
right,
like having nice things.
I thought it was so funny, but they're not wrong. But and I was I was able to laugh at myself. But in retrospect, I learned so much from the experience. Yeah. I agree with you. I did plenty of unpaid internships, and it's what made me, you know, want an unpaid intern. And
yeah, and for the record, I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I'm just saying from my experience, that's what I
totally
was kind of like groomed to think internships were. That's all I'm saying.
So what we don't realize, and this is something that was smacked in my face and I was forced to realize, that's a really privileged perspective, because somebody with a full-time job, you know, as a bartender, or I mean, not necessarily a bartender.
They can't have the luxury.
They don't have the luxury of the time to do that.
I agree.
And even what people didn't realize is that it would have been an hour or 2 hours once every 2 weeks or once a month if I needed help or something like that. So it's not like I'm really taking time out of somebody's schedule to, you know, I need their help. It's not like I'm taking time away from them actually making so much money to support like the roof over their head. But it still was such a bad look for this rich, blonde, privileged girl to be like, oh, I need an unpaid intern. And in retrospect, I look like an idiot, especially in like today's day and age with everything going on. I looked so dumb. And now I look back and it was like, I like her content a lot. It was an Olivia Jade moment, except it was worse for me because I was 23 years old and Olivia Jade had everything going down at 18 and didn't really know any better because she had been in a bubble. Same kind of thing with me, except I'm an adult and I should have known better. So it hit me in the face and I learned, and you know, now all of the tabloids are hung up in my bathroom because there's nothing I can do except laugh at it.
Was it actually in the press?
Oh, fully. Jezebel wrote about me.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was pretty at the time. Like, I can laugh at it now. I was having a full mental breakdown about it then.
I don't blame you, because I do recognize that us having unpaid internships, you're right, it's from a privileged perspective because I remember my parents being like, we'll pay for you to
be able to do it
in and out of the city so you could have this internship. And you're right, like not everyone has the opportunity to do that because they need to be making money.
Right.
But I guess what is hard with TikTok in general, and this is a whole different conversation, is how sometimes like something that's like just a statement gets so dug into and so analyzed. And sometimes you're like, I don't know, like I posted something about dogs today, just like a funny thing about like wiener dogs are trendy, and people are like, wiener dogs are so expensive, like blah, blah. And I'm like, not everything has to be drama. That I understand, like whatever. But I'm just saying in general.
People look for problems on TikTok because they're bored and miserable. Those are the trolls. That is the nature of the internet. Not even just TikTok, Twitter too. Toxic. But
I don't go on it.
I can't even look at it. I Google myself like M-E-D.
Like you in the search box.
I search myself on Twitter just as a joke every now and then, and I'm literally like
oh no, I don't even look. I have my things off, all my notifications. Like I don't get any notifications from Twitter.
Yeah, no. I just in retrospect look back and I'm like, do better, Audrey. Like that was dumb. If you're gonna make it your brand, make it better. Be better. And I've moved forward with it, and I now have a part-time paid assistant, and it works out great.
I love that for you. You learned, and I agree. Like I think with everything, it's learning, and like I started off this conversation by saying like that's all I knew.
Right.
But it's like then you learn, and it's like, and then you don't make the same mistakes twice.
Totally.
So I get it.
I have yet to be canceled since. say a little prayer, knock on some wood.
Someone actually DM'd me last night, and I thought this was like really weird. Sorry if you're listening, because I love you all, but it was just an interesting way to ask to be my assistant, because she messaged me saying, hey, how much money do you make? ? Do you need an assistant? And it's like, yeah, let me just divulge my salary. It's like, what a weird pitch to work for me.
I think that's like fairly inappropriate.
Isn't that bizarre?
People ask me how much money I make all the time as if I would reveal it.
It's so uncomfortable.
It's so uncomfortable and just, quite frankly, none of your business.
Yeah. It's like you have no right to know this.
Right. Correct.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So we talked about getting canceled. Let's talk about how you even got started on TikTok, because all of a sudden it's like you post a video, it blows up, and now it's like you're a content creator and you're held to this standard. And I think that's why we get ourselves into trouble sometimes, because it's like, it's a lot.
I had no idea what I was
pressure.
dealing with. None whatsoever. I was actually talking about this the other night. I was saying TikTok used to be, it started out so fun, obviously. It was an accident that I blew up. And then shit started happening to me with like so much hate, more than I would have ever expected. And before, it used to really eat at me. Like, people think that, you know, you see a smile on a face of a content creator's video and you think they're fine. And I was fine. I have pretty thick skin, so it's not like I was actually being eaten alive. I was still afloat. I still had a great 2020, and I'm so privileged to be able to say that. I think that a lot of people lost themselves in the pandemic, and I'm fortunate enough to have found myself through TikTok.
I think it goes both ways for people. I think although it was like obviously this awful time in the world,
Right.
so many people had time to like self-reflect and just like be with their thoughts.
Totally.
Like I did so much self-work this past year.
Same. And then I was talking to my friend the other day, and she was like, you know, I've done enough self-work. I just want to put what I've applied to myself in the last year. I just want to do it now. Like, I'm done with reflecting it. And I was like, big mood. I would also like to apply what I've really reflected and thought about. Because I've just been sitting here thinking about it.
So I'm
long.
starting the apply process.
Literally.
I made my, I make a word for the year. So I made my 2021 word progress.
Love that.
So I was like, in 2020, I did all the things. In 2021,
You're applying
I
them.
need to progress.
Right. Beautiful. Love that.
So I'm
for
doing
you.
it. Yeah. So yeah, get to it, girl.
Yeah. I mean, it was an accident. I was obsessed with Vine ages ago, back in the day. And Matt Coletti, Illy. Like, that was my vibe. And I never really, I was like 15 when Vine was a thing.
Yeah.
Like, I was funny. I was certainly not funny enough to be Vine famous.
Yeah.
That was an elite sense of humor. And when TikTok came out, I downloaded it and I scrolled immediately when it came out. But I never even considered creating content, because in college and in high school, when I had like this fashion vlog, I was really bullied for it severely. So I didn't even cross my mind to create content on there, because I thought that's in the past. Like, I now work at a publication.
Yeah, like that doesn't work for me.
For those of you who I didn't really used to talk about it, because it was my current job, but I worked at Harper's Bazaar and Elle and Marie Claire. I worked at the fashion group at Hearst Magazines. So I thought to myself, like, I don't need to do this. Like, I have a job.
Yeah.
And then one of my friends, I like made a joke being like, oh, now that it's quarantine, like everyone's trying to be TikTok famous. Like, I could be TikTok famous. And two of my friends said that I couldn't do it. And they were like mean about it. Like, they were not nice about it. They were like, oh, why would you do that? It's like so dumb. It's like unattractive. And I literally was like, watch me. And I made one video that was what your favorite designer says about you. And I got over 1 million views overnight, 10,000 followers. And that was the basis.
That's crazy, because I even had like a similar thing happen with getting this job. So I'm always like lofty goals. That's just how I am. And I go for them.
Love that.
And I was like, I always kind of in the back of my head was like, I'm going to pitch Barstool Sports, a podcast concept. And not to make this about me, but just really quickly.
No, let's make it about you.
I sent Dave a DM, and it was like a really good pitch. I sent the screenshot like of my pitch to my friend, and she believes in me so much. So it's not,
Aw.
she wasn't like negative or anything.
We
but she
love
was,
a supportive
but-
friend.
Yeah, but she was more just like, oh my God, yeah, right, he's going to answer, which is like the realistic response to have.
Right.
To you just blindly DMing someone for a job.
Dave Portnoy, out of all people.
And he responded like 30 minutes later, and I just sent her the screenshot back, and she was like, I'm shook.
Dead.
Because even though she believes in me, she just was like, I don't think he'll see it type of
Right.
thing.
Totally.
But
Reasonable.
it just goes to show, like, sometimes you just have this like gut and you're
feeling,
like,
yeah.
no, I could do it.
And in no capacity am I like TikTok famous. Like I'm no Addison Rae.
Yeah.
But like not to
who
toot,
is?
Correct. But like not to toot my own horn, I do pretty well. So
Yeah.
who's laughing now? Who wants to go to all my PR dinners and, you know, take some of the PR packages that I get and the skincare and the cute things that arrive for me?
Yeah.
Who wants those things now?
It's one of those things where it's like if you just believe in yourself,
Right.
you're
Totally.
going to make it happen for yourself.
Completely.
One thing that you also talk about a lot is like a botched nose job situation. And you get a lot of questions about this.
I have a botched nose job, okay?
And I need to know, so you're getting it redone in September?
Okay, so I got a new job, so I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to move everything around. Originally, I was aiming for September. I'm honestly not sure if it's still going to be September, but yes, I am redoing it. TBD, but I have the deposits down, baby.
What went wrong?
So I've always, this is like the classic excuse. My whole entire life, I can't even breathe through my nose. I have a really deviated septum. But on top of that, it was just ugly. It was not a pretty nose.
Yeah, like it's usually both when people get them.
Right.
You know?
And my mom is Lebanese, so I had a very Lebanese, strong Middle Eastern nose. I have no problem having like a strong feature on my face. Like I like that my nose has character. But it looked more like a beak. It had like an ugly bump. And then I broke it in high school. I fell flat on my face because I was clumsy. I'm still really clumsy. And my parents were like, okay, like, honestly, we get why you want to fix it. Like, let's get it fixed. And I went to a million different consultations, all in New York. And I ended up picking this one doctor because I liked the way that he sketched out the way that my nose would look. I liked the way he made me feel in the consultation. I just trusted him. He'd also done my cousin's facelift, and she looked gorgeous. So that was my incentive to do it with him. And then the surgery was 45 minutes. 45 minutes. Like,
how long are they supposed to take?
at least an hour and a half. Like my new doctor that's doing it for me is actually the doctor that Lauren Elizabeth went to, who I know was just on this podcast.
Yeah, her nose looks amazing.
Like my friend Lindsay saw the video that she posted on YouTube. And she was like, Audrey, you have to go here. I was living with her in LA. And she was like, look at this blogger did it with this guy in Beverly Hills. Like, you should go to him. And I literally knew immediately that I wanted to do it with him. So I'm redoing it with him. But originally, it was just a disaster. The surgery was an hour and was 45 minutes. And I guess he did my biggest bother was that it was crooked and that it had the bump. He shaved on the bump. Quite frankly,
was it crooked before?
Very.
So he should have straightened it out more.
He didn't do an open surgery, which is what I really needed.
Oh,
huge
yeah,
disaster.
no wonder you're
huge disaster. Like for somebody who can't breathe.
No,
like
they
me,
have to break the nose.
Right, and he
open.
didn't.
Okay, no.
My mom also knows nothing about surgery, and she liked the idea that it was closed because then I wouldn't potentially have scars. And at the time, I didn't know any better.
And
I
it
was
feels
18.
less invasive.
Right.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, no scars. Like he's one of the few that are like closed. And in retrospect, that was a red flag. There were so many red flags.
But you don't know these things. I only know this because I have so many friends that have gotten nose jobs at this point. That
And
I
my
just
mom
know.
also is, again, terrified of surgery. None of her friends get surgery. My mom refuses to go under a knife. So I think it was just a culmination of my mom is maybe not the best person to do this kind of thing with. I was young and I should have done more research on my own, but I was too young to understand that. He took advantage of the situation for sure. And, it just didn't turn out the way I wanted it to. I'm confident in my own skin enough that it doesn't mean I hate the camera, the face right now, but for the most part, I'm not insecure about my appearances. Yeah. So, life moves on. But yes, my nose job is very botched.
I like that you're so transparent about it because you openly talk about it and you talk about your journey and your experience. And I think nose jobs are probably the most common, I would say, cosmetic surgery that people speak of, or I guess it's on the front of your face. So it's you can't really lie about it that much. But I feel like I said, I know a handful of people that have gotten them. And I think so many people want to get them. So for them, it's so good to hear stories like
Completely.
yours.
And I think that it normalizes the stigma because people don't realize how many people get screwed over by doctors and surgery, especially nose jobs.
Yeah, he should have said to you, the type of surgery I do with a closed nose job might not get you the results that you need.
And I actually had a doctor say that to me. I had a doctor say, I'm not an ENT. You shouldn't see me. And he turned me away. My doctor was also not an ENT, and he said he could do it. Bullshit, you can do it.
They want the money.
Right. He wanted money. And by the way, I went to try to get my revision done with him, or like an appointment for a revision. I couldn't even get an appointment without paying a deposit. They were like, consultation fee. And I said, what the fuck do you mean consultation fee? I'm your patient. They were like, well, it's been 5 years. And I said, I don't give a shit if it's been 10 years. Like, if I got my nose done with you 10 years ago, now it's starting to look different. And I'm just like, I don't need a revision, but maybe another surgery because of a personal reason.
Yeah.
Not of a botched reason. Like, you should see me, no fee. Like, what? That's ridiculous. This is not like a general doctor that.
He just doesn't do the type of business that you need.
Correct.
You know,
and I have no patience.
You can't. So. It's kind of like when you get a bad vibe about someone and like, fool me once. You know what I mean? Here, ready?
Right. Totally.
It's done.
And, you know, again, I have no patience, and I definitely don't do bullshit. So, like, no.
No, I love it. And you're also open about getting like lip filler and all these other things. Like, did part of you ever feel nervous about like people from high school or people from college or aunts, uncles, people like thinking, I don't know. I just feel like there's judgment around injectables and that kind of stuff.
That never crossed my mind.
Wow, I love that because I think about that stuff.
Oh, no.
I've had nothing, but it's more that I come from such an Italian family that they're like, don't do anything to embarrass the family. Like, it's like that. Like,
oh, I mean, my mom calls me and she's like, oh my God, people are calling me saying this. And I go, then hang up. Like, I don't know what you want me to say. Like, literally hang up.
I don't care, but it's more like the family cares.
But then I tell my mom, like, I don't care who's calling my mom. I don't care at all. But then I tell, like, she cares, obviously.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
But then I tell her, hang up. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. You're not me. I'm not you. If you don't like it, cry me a river.
Also,
like, I love my mom, but like, it's my face.
I was going to say, no one has a right to call your mom up and say something.
Right. And I also, like, that's what I told her too. I'm like, the fact that people are calling about you and like about me telling you, that's ridiculous. And quite frankly, like, how bored can you be?
And it's inappropriate.
It's completely inappropriate and bad-mannered.
Yeah.
And like, if it's someone really close, because here's the thing. If it was someone really close to me and my mom, they would probably just call me, or my mother would say, oh, like, blank called me and she's like really concerned. Like, I'm really concerned, or whatever it might be. But that's not the conversation. So you know it's someone being nosy and putting their foot where it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
And those are the people I really don't care about.
I always am curious, people that are so open on the internet, what like family thinks. And myself too, I'm a super open book. Like, I talk about everything. But sometimes, like, I was even at a baby shower the other day, and my cousin, who's probably listening, was like, I listened to your podcast. And it's so funny because when people that you know say stuff like that, it dawns on you like, oh shit, people I know listen to this. Like, sometimes when you're just talking to the internet, it's easy to just feel like you're talking to strangers. Do you know what I'm saying?
I guess. Yeah, I totally get what you're saying. I just have my whole life. It's more of a me problem. I live in such a world of my own. I don't care, nor do I take even a millisecond to think about what other people think of me, ever. I could care less. If you think I'm a bitch, okay, congratulations. Do you want a fucking cookie? Like, what am I supposed to do about it?
That's so great. What made you that way?
I've never cared. Ever.
Wow.
It's just not something that I've ever taken the time to think about.
I'm sensitive, but also I think I'm an Enneagram type 3, if you know what any of the Enneagram is. Okay, so like Enneagram type 3 is like a people pleaser.
Okay, got you. See, so, I'm not at all.
But it's weird because as I've been in this industry, I've learned to care less.
Love that.
Like, someone commented on my video today and he was like, why am I following you again? And I wrote back, unfollow me, loser. Like, snaps. I don't give a shit. Like, it's weird because I have this weird, like, confident side that's like, I don't give a shit what you think. And then this other weird side where it's almost more, I care about, like I said, what I care that they care.
I care.
Versus me caring that I care.
Of course I care what my friends and family think and the people that I place value on.
Yes.
But other than that, I don't. But even then, like, and this is something that I was actually talking to my dad about the other day. If I tailored everything I said to make sure that not everybody is offended or worried or upset, I wouldn't be able to make content.
No,
so
it's true.
I can't do it. I simply can't do it. Like, one of my mom's friends was upset because I bashed a restaurant that she knows the owner of, and ultimately it just wasn't worth the fucking phone calls. I just took it down.
Yeah.
But I warned my mom, and I was like, Mom, I did this because I quite not as a favor, but because I literally just don't want to hear it. But in the future, I'm not going to do that. And it's not fair to me to get the phone calls, because if they don't like it, it's my opinion, and that's just the end of it.
Yeah, and it's also like so far removed. Like,
right.
It's like, it's not like you know the owner and you did that.
I don't know.
I kind of thought the grapevine.
Kind of, but like, he doesn't, like, whatever. Either way, kind of. And if he really knew me, he could have just asked me himself. We've met a bunch of times. But either way, it is what it is. C'est la vie.
But that's kind of what I was trying to get at the beginning of the podcast. It's like, we can't have opinions on anything, even if they're non-controversial. Like, I posted a video today of this woman or a few days ago, but it's blowing up right now on Reels randomly. And it's like the girl doing the dance, humping the air.
Yeah.
And I said something. It's literally the most like
docile.
Yeah, like issue thing ever.
Yeah.
And people are commenting like they take it so seriously. I said something like, if I knew that all it took was humping air to lose 27 pounds, I'd be doing this a while ago.
Wait, did you see my duet of that woman on Audrey?
No.
Oh, I literally duetted it being like, go off queen, no hate to you, but like, why are you on my For You page? Like, what is this? What is this, honey? Like, what is that? Like, what is this woman doing?
So I just said, like, I wish I knew this a while ago. I'd be humping air for years. So, like, that's all I said. Like, super kosher. People are commenting, like, did you not see that she said it was also a clean diet, not just humping air? I'm like, I know, guys. It's a joke.
Yeah.
You don't actually hump air and lose 27 pounds.
I mean, I could say the sky is blue and people would be like, it's purple.
It's like the littlest thing, and people are, like, pressed over it. And I'm like, I don't think sometimes sarcasm lands on social media.
I think that Gen Z is so ridiculously entitled and
Is that what
overly
it is?
politically correct that they just, if it does not apply to them, they get mad. It's crazy. I've never seen anything like it.
I just like am kind of new to it with TikTok because I come from like the Instagram era.
Right.
Where it was kind of different. It was like fashion influencers like kissing each
Right.
other's asses on Instagram, but then being bitchy at events.
Right.
Whereas now on TikTok, it's like your video could go viral and reach millions of people in seconds, and everyone's just out of control.
Correct. Yeah, it's a wild place. And to be frank, I don't love influencer culture. I try to stay pretty far from it.
I think that's a good thing to do.
Right. But in general, yes, people are very easily offended on TikTok. And at first, at the very beginning, I did this video actually, kind of barstooly, that was like red flags that you should look for in a guy when you go home with him. And I was like, if he has an American flag or Saturdays are for the boys flag hung in his room, if his sheets are navy, if his bed is in the corner, I said like all these like funny things. The comment section was the most brutal thing I've ever seen in my life. It was like, you fugly troll. And I was like, ah! And that video, like, that was a rough week. I'm not going to lie to you. I was like, I'm Shrek. But then by the end of that week that went past, I was like, all right, you can handle just about anything after that because you've been called such horrible things. And that's when I realized, like, that video was hysterical. That just happened to land on the page of like 12-year-old boys that have navy sheets. Versus, you know, I'm targeting college boys or like postgraduate boys that have navy sheets. So I just realized that you can, why alter it? I just deal with the hate at this point. I just don't care. Like, if you want to sit there and call me a fugly troll, well, that's simply just not true.
It is so crazy that people even type that. And it's first of all, it's wild to me that apps haven't come up with a filter that filters that stuff out.
Oh, I know.
Like,
It's
I don't
insanity.
understand how these
It's
platforms
bullying.
allow it to go on.
Oh, I know. My favorite comment is like, well, no man would go home with you anyways. And I'm like, tell your dad that.
Yeah, it's like, okay, well, I slept at someone's house last night, so let me call him really quick. No, people are literally insane. And I did want to talk about confidence, which we've touched on a little bit. Like, clearly you are so confident. And it's something that you started kind of talking about more on your like social handles.
Yeah.
And then like you did like a confidence course. What was that?
Okay, so I never even considered doing content on confidence because it's just not something I thought was interesting to people, if that makes sense. Like, I always did my like humor and comedy and, you know, like lifestyle things and fashion-y things. And I think because my opinions are so brutal and blunt, people, and I say it with confidence without realizing, people wanted to know how I could do that. So I started making videos on how I'm able to do it and how I got the confidence that I have. I'm doing my confidence course after I get my nose done because those videos are going to be out there forever. And I want my nose to be straight for it. Period blank.
Yeah.
Point blank. Period blank. But yeah, I did those videos. I haven't done any in a while because I just feel like I've kind of given all my words of wisdom on it. And if I do more, then there's no point to the confidence course.
Fair.
But yeah, confidence is like not, I think people really believe that confidence just came so quickly to me. I was the most insecure person I knew up until I was 21. Easily.
So you felt a shift.
Oh, completely. I really worked on myself. I think people have this misconception that you can just look at yourself in the mirror and say you're so hot. And like, yeah, that is fun. But like, that's not what makes you confident. It's simply just not.
Yeah, that's interesting because I had the opposite where I grew up confident my whole life. And then about like 3 years ago started being like not confident.
Got you.
But it's always kind of like embedded in me because I grew up that way.
Got you.
Which is opposite because a lot of women, when I speak to women, a lot of them didn't grow up confident. So like I always say that's the one thing I'm so thankful that my mom like instilled that in me.
That's amazing.
But like I lost a lot of my confidence when I put on weight. But then I started making that my brand. And then like through my followers, that helped me get confidence. So it's like sometimes you have to almost like admit to the world, like, I'm insecure about this in order to yourself move on.
Completely.
Does that make sense?
And like, just for the record, I'm the heaviest that I've been now in a long time, and I've never in my life gotten more male attention.
It's about what you exude.
Correct. Completely.
I know. And that's what I've like learned. And I just like feel so much better.
100%.
And I think it's just something that it's just like a choice kind of that you have to make inside. And it's not as easy, like you said, as like making a choice one day.
Right.
But you really have to work on it.
Completely. And that's what I talk about in my confidence course, which is like how I did it, because I wish it was as simple as just looking in the mirror and being like, you're so hot. Like, do I do that now? Hell yeah, I do. I think everybody should do it. It's a great piece of advice. I just personally don't think that that's what builds confidence. Like being a good person and, you know, being a role model that you would want to look up to is what makes you confident. And, you know, for me, what is my role model? What does she look like? She's a good person. She's hardworking. She is a good friend. She's a good family member. She's a good citizen. She, you know, is generous. She's thoughtful. She's selfless. Like, and then when you build up all of those qualities for yourself and, you know, all of a sudden you get promoted. All of a sudden you get really good grades. All of a sudden your parents are like beaming about you because you're being the best version of yourself they've ever seen. Then you're like, wait a goddamn minute. I'm so fucking cool. And that's when I was like, oh, that is so great. Like, I'm cool now. That's so cool. And it's not relying on people around you, because that's not what I'm saying at all. It's embodying the characteristics that you think are what makes someone amazing.
Yeah.
It's not what other people think of you. It's what you think of yourself.
100% preach. I think I heard an entrepreneur on a podcast recently, a few months ago, say that in order for him to feel his most successful, he realized he had to like give back to his community.
Completely.
And I really took that to heart, and I started mentoring people. I took on like a mentee. I did some free courses mentoring people. When I go to get coffee, I tip my girl extra.
I love that.
Every time. Like little things, like I just took it so to heart that I was like, to be my most successful, I need to feel good about like what I'm putting back out into the universe and into the community.
That's what it's all about. That's literally what it's all about.
Exactly. So I think that that's a really good piece of advice that people don't necessarily think of.
It's so underrated.
They
like,
think
just
of
be a good fucking person.
They think of looking at their like ass and squeezing it, and it's like showing cellulite, but being like, I love you.
That's
even
not
though they're
what it
not.
is.
Yeah.
Right. It's like, just be a good person. Like, be someone that you would want to be friends with.
Yeah.
Like, be someone that your parents are really proud of. That is like your friend like talks so highly of because she's so proud of you. You know what I mean?
100%. I think that there's this like interesting thing that happens with dating where if I go out with a guy and it doesn't work out, instead of being like, like, why doesn't he like me? In my head, I'm like, what a loser for not liking me.
Literally. Like, I tell myself when a guy doesn't like me, or if a human does not like me, if a human doesn't think I'm funny, or like they don't like me, or whatever it might be, I literally think to myself, oh my God, that is literally so tragic that they're so stupid. Like, that's actually so tragic. Like, they're not only blind, they're probably deaf. Oh my God. Like, that's awful.
Because it's like, you just have to be so sure of yourself. Like, you have to build yourself up and be like, I'm a catch. And if you can't see what's in front of you, then you don't deserve me.
I actually could not fathom someone thinking I'm not funny. Like, I actually could not fathom someone being like, she's unattractive. What? What are you saying?
See, I'm like the opposite, where when I first started here, it's weird because if you ask my friends, is Alyssa funny? They'd be like, she's hysterical. Not to like compliment myself, but that's what they would say. But if you were to ask me, are you funny? I'd say, no, I'm not that funny, because I'm not crack jokes funny. Right. I'm more like, if I'm with my friends, I say something off the cuff and that makes them laugh.
So that's my kind of humor. Completely.
So
I'm not strategically funny.
No, I'm not strategically.
You and I are the same type of funny, where it's like our existence is just funny.
Yeah, like I don't feel funny at all. So when I first started working here and everyone's like comedians, basically, I said to one of the TikTok people, I was like, but I'm not funny, because I really like felt this way. And he was like, what do you mean? Like, yes, you are. Just because your humor is not like every other person doesn't mean you're not funny. But like, it's just one of those things where like we think these things about ourselves and we don't even realize sometimes. So I don't know. It's like you could be so confident, but then you could also not even realize the way you're presenting necessarily.
Totally. Completely. And it's also like, ladies, why would you ever, and I mean ever, get upset about a man because there's a million more? There are a million. And they're going to be better, probably. Like, whenever I catch myself, like, feeling insecure about not being funny, if a guy didn't think I'm funny, or, like, not, you know, being as pretty as he would have wanted me to be, or blah, 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 I literally, like, it's my best friend who told me this. Like, it was not too long ago. I was, like, a couple months ago, my friend caught me, like, kind of being upset about this guy, and she literally looked at me, and she goes, why are you upset? There's a million of them. The most easily replaceable thing in the world is a man. You are too good for this. And I literally was like, you're so right. And it's so true. Like, if he doesn't think you're funny, or if somebody doesn't think you're funny, there's going to be a million more.
Is that your thing, going into a date, that you feel like you have to prove subconsciously? Because mine was always proving that I'm smart. That was like my insecurity.
I don't go into a date feeling the need to prove anything. I go into the date thinking that they need to prove that they are willing, that they are good enough to be sitting across that table.
See, and that's the confidence. And it's not that I was going to say I don't always feel that way, but I used to, when I first became an influencer full time, I had this huge insecurity that people were going to like think I was vapid and not intelligent. Yeah. So I would go in trying to act like a brainiac. And then I'm like, my dad actually called me out because I was telling my dad like a comment that a guy said to me, and he goes, not for nothing, you sound boring. He was like, loosen up.
Get the stick out of your ass, Alyssa.
Yes, my dad was like, you sound like a snooze fest. Like, he's like, you literally need to loosen up. And I wasn't having fun because I was trying so hard to be like, you could take me home to your mom. I'm a girl with class and I have morals. And now I'm on the page of just like, I'm going to be a fucking tornado and roll through. And if you can't handle it, you're not my guy.
Correct. And I totally feel you on the being afraid of like a guy being turned off because you're an influencer. Quite frankly, I can't go on a date without the guy knowing that I'm on TikTok. I actually have not been I've been on one date in the last year where the guy did not know I'm on TikTok. And on that date, the waitress came up to me. He was 31 years old, like man of my dreams. And the waitress came up to us at the restaurant and was like, oh my God, I'm obsessed with you. I'm so sorry to interrupt, but you're on TikTok. And this man was a 31-year-old lawyer whose life, he wouldn't even really tell me what his job was. Like I had to like pull teeth to get it because he's so private. And here she is being like, love your TikTok. And he's like, wait, what's that? I'm like, oh my God.
See, and that's the difference because I'm older than you and the people that are your age are on TikTok. And I always see you talking about how on Hinge these dudes are finding you. And I'm like,
I know.
I don't have that problem on dating apps because the guys my age like aren't really looking as much.
So for a while I went for older.
For that reason.
Yeah. And then it still didn't work because I would go on dates and people would send me like shots or like the waitresses would come up to me and be like, hi. And I'd be like, Oh no! It's
and
just
know
better.
you're on a date. That's why.
So after experimentation,
Yeah.
it's just better that I go for like 26 age because it's better that they know from the start. To be frank, it is better for me now because my point being, it is like it's not an insecurity in any capacity, but like for a while I was like a little bit insecure that like what if they wouldn't like me as much because of like my platform, not because of like the follower count, but because of like some of the content that I say. And I think I'm funny and I know that I'm funny, but like I have strong opinions. It's not a secret. So like what if they don't like that? And then I just got over
but then they
it.
have to like you for you.
Right. And then I just got over it and now it's no longer an issue, but still.
Mine was never what content I'm putting out because I feel like it's pretty like mellow. It's more I would worry that their parents would be like, she doesn't have a good job. Or
oh my God, I haven't even thought about that. I can't even. Like,
I'm sorry. Yeah, see?
Can't even begin.
But it's those things that you think about. But now I'm not even there anymore. Like now I'm just like, whatever, this is me. If you don't like me, you're not my person.
I was just going to say, I can't even think. You know the reason that I don't care what people think about me or what they say about me or any of that in conjunction with like this parent thing? It's because I just don't let myself think about it.
Yeah, you can't go there.
Like I just don't even think about it. Like my brain functions at the speed of light. Like I don't pay attention to most things. Because that's where anxiety stems from, right? Like the overthinking. So I just don't even allow myself to do it. Because I used to really, really be anxious, and now I'm not anymore because I trained myself to just literally not think about it. So I can't think about the parent thing because if at the end of the day, it literally boils down to the point that it's going to work or it's not going to work. And if it doesn't work, it wasn't meant to be. So why are you thinking about it? So
you're absolutely right.
That's what it boils down to. And
listen, think about every single person that found their person. They all say it was so easy from the beginning. It just worked. We just clicked it. Like we just knew. It's like. You find your person and you know, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts.
Correct.
And then I feel like when you have a red flag or something, it's like, okay, this isn't my guy.
Right.
But I think that's the most important takeaway for women that are listening to realize. If a guy doesn't like you back, that's not your person. It has to be mutual.
I was just going to say, rejection is redirection.
Absolutely.
I always say the best way to get over rejection is like, there are a million men and they're gonna be better. Why are you upset? Number one. Yeah. Number two, it just wasn't for you. So why are you upset about something that wasn't for you in the first place?
Totally.
Although I'm really not one to talk because that 31-year-old guy that I was like obsessed with, you should see the text that I sent him. I couldn't stop thinking about him. I am not kidding you. His name was Ian. I could not stop thinking about him for literal months. And after our first date, I actually did think that he was going to see me again.
Did you feel like it was like a missed connection? Like there was...
No, so basically what happened was we went on our date, and regardless of the woman recognizing me, he thought I was great. We had a great night. He texted me, so sweet. He was so sweet about my TikTok. And then the next day, again, texted me. He texted me that I got home. The next day texted me. And then a few days later was like so polite, so nice. It was, you can tell it was genuine because I can smell bullshit a mile away. He wasn't lying. He was like, I'm actually 3 dates in with somebody else that I really like and I don't want to mess it up, but you were amazing and I just wanted to be honest with you.
Honestly, respect.
So much respect made me like him more. It was hot. I'm like, wow, you're actually a good dude and this girl's lucky. Fuck me.
Yeah, you're a good ass guy.
So then I literally couldn't stop thinking about it, obviously. I was like, this guy's amazing. And I was bored in quarantine round 2. I texted him the funniest thing.
It's like, hey, any chance things didn't work out with the girl number?
I did better. I said, and I quote, "Hi, I just wanted to let you know that I forgive you and I'm willing to give you a second chance."
I'm dead. Did he respond?
He said, "Yes, who is this? I think you might have the wrong number." And he said, "This is Ian. I think you might have the wrong number." And I said, "No, I'm definitely looking for Ian. And I'm emphasizing that I'm willing to forgive you. How's it going? What are you up to this weekend?" And he goes, "Oh, that's so," like he thought it was funny. Like
Still doesn't know who it is.
He knew who it was. He thought that I was forgiving the wrong person.
Oh,
like he fully
God.
thought I was forgiving the wrong person. And he was like, "This is the first time I've ever done anything like that. I don't chase men. Ew, disgusting." He was just so great. And I thought, I might give it like, what if it didn't work out? It didn't. It worked out for him. But he was like.
So they're still together?
They're still together. He let me know that they're still together. And then I said, he let me know that they're still together. And then I said, "Okay, I'll forgive you again in a few months."
That is good.
So if you're ever going to text like that, guys, literally just say, "I forgive you."
I'm dead. I'm trying to think if that's happened to me.
I mean, the audacity to pick somebody over me.
Yeah, like, excuse me. But I do respect that, and I get that because people date multiple people at one given time. And it's like sometimes one's just progressing, and then the girl's like, hey, by the way, where do we stand? Or the guy's like...
And he's like, shit, you're like not at the top of my list right now.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, wait, I got this other girl. I really like her. That's amazing. I could keep talking to you all day, but I want to get into my Ask Alyssa segment.
Okay, let's
where
do it.
people write in advice.
Oh, let's do it.
Because I think you'll be really good.
Okay, here.
Okay.
Let's go.
This girl just said, please tell me why I'm literally 23 years old and feel like it's already too late to change my career. Sorry for yelling. She did it in all caps. Obviously, it's not too late, but I just need advice about breaking into a new job industry. Because I lack experience in the field, I thought it'd be best to apply for internships to get my foot in the door. But not having experience is why I keep getting turned down after my interviews. They've said, I love your energy and eagerness to learn, and that's apparent, but we're going to go with someone else that has relative experience. Please tell me if I'm wrong, but isn't that the point of an internship? It's so defeating to keep getting the same response when I feel like I'm so close. I'm a positive person, and I like to think everything happens for a reason, but now it's just starting to get my hopes up to get far in a job process. Do you have any advice on this? My advice was going to be to get an internship.
I was going to say my advice was going to be to get an internship and also make as many connections as you can.
So this
preferably
sucks.
a paid one.
Yeah.
I don't think it's too late at all. You're so young.
It's not too late at all, but I feel for her because my advice when people tell me they want to switch careers is always get an internship, take it up on the side so you can get some experience. So it kind of like, I feel her frustration.
Totally. And also look for an assistant level position because an assistant, any job description, it's bullshit. It's all the same thing. It's administrative and it's your foot in the door into that industry and you'll meet the right people. So look for assistant positions. Like,
yeah. And what I always say is maybe because I'm just like entrepreneurial and I realize not everyone's like this, but like make your own job in that industry. For example, if you want to go into social media, start running like a TikTok.
Totally.
If you want to go into journalism, create a blog and start writing.
Completely.
Like, so then if you don't have experience, you could be like, wait, you know, I want to get my foot in the door. This is what I've been working on, and put that on your resume and act like it's a damn job.
Completely. 100%. Like some of my friends that are like, I have a friend that's 21 and he's still in college and he's studying PR and he puts on all his applications that like, he's my PR assistant. And I'm like, yes, that's smart. Like you literally could. I have press about myself. Like,
yeah, get something in.
Literally, it's something on your resume. Like, make it something. Why not? And then I've literally gotten emails like job referrals, and I'm like, yes, he's amazing.
Yeah, and it's like make it happen. Like I wanted to work in fashion, and I thought that it wasn't like really a potential for right when I graduated because it's hard to get jobs in fashion. And I started a blog. That's how I started all those years ago.
Love that.
Like just start something in your field or. I guess it's hard in some fields, but if it's, I don't know, if you want to be a freaking mathematician, go ask your local spot if they need help with their accounting. Whatever it may be, like you could find something to put on your resume.
There's always something.
Or create it.
Completely.
So that's our advice. Keep us posted. I'm really curious where this pans out. Okay, next one. Here's what I'd like advice on. I've been going through this crisis for about a month and I never really understood why. Within the past 10 months, I've lost 26 pounds, which I'm proud of myself for. However, at the same time, I've lost the fact of not feeling like I'm desirable anymore to myself/others and not really knowing my sense of self. I'm confident with who I am because I like the new me, but at the same time, I feel like sometimes I have to hypersexualize myself and or dress how I think I would be perceived in order to be attractive as possible. Additionally, it's just weird to think about the fact that I am in college, especially because of the world circumstances with Corona and all. Could it be trauma? Any advice? So I wrote back to her and I said, I need more details. I basically said, you lost 26 pounds. Are you feeling this way because you lost curves? Like, I want to know. So then she clarified. She said, I think I'm just struggling with my self-image in general. I'd say my weight loss has made my boobs smaller and lost some of my curves. My boyfriend assures me I'm beautiful, and I know in my heart he's right, but it's hard to accept that when I don't like how I look.
I mean, my question is, did you lose weight because of what society thinks of you, or did you lose weight because you wanted to lose weight?
Yeah, because she said she feels like she has to dress a certain way.
I was going to say, you need to dress for yourself.
I think that's how you get your confidence back.
100%. Like 100%. Half the things I wear men would think are fucking disgusting.
Oh,
Like,
of course.
like I don't dress for men. I dress for my 13-year-old self, hoping that she would see me down the street and think I'm cool. Like,
no, 100%. I think it sounds to me like you're doing things for other people and it's making you not feel confident, even though you're proud of yourself for losing the weight. So it's like, dress how you want in your new body to feel confident. Don't dress for other people.
Completely. You need to do things for yourself. If it's losing weight, if it's, buying the clothing that you like that would, fit your new body. Like, if it means, I'm not saying gain the weight back if you were happier then, but like, I'm just saying you can't be it sounds like you're doing things for others instead of yourself, and you need to do them for yourself.
I 100% agree. The next one, I asked the person to send me more information. So let me just check to see if she DM'd me back. I always write back and I'll be like, I need more details because I like the juice,
Oh, the tea. Give it.
Okay, so this is the question. She said, hi, a question for Ask Alyssa. I'm going to be moving in with my fiance for the first time and his mom and dad. I'm moving 2 hours from home for the first time ever and freaking out over the new changes. I don't do well with change. It's all for the better, and I know I'm moving in with my fiance and his parents is temporary and for our future benefits, but I need all the positive vibes and suggestions to survive. So I said, can you elaborate? Why are you moving in with them? What's temporary? How long? I need details. So she said, I just graduated from my master's program in Connecticut, where I'm from, and got a job in upstate New York, where my fiance is from, because he owns a business. I always knew I was moving up there since he started the business about 4 years ago, and especially since we've gotten engaged. My fiance would rather not rent, so living with his parents is allowing us to save money to buy a home. I set a limit for 6 months, if not less, of living with them. However, my fiance seems too comfortable with this situation, and when I talk about the limit, he just guesses me to death. My mom has said that she will not be comfortable visiting me while living there, which I don't blame her. So now it's up to me to balance visiting my family, starting a new career, wedding planning, making time for his family, and house hunting to get us out of there. Okay, that extra context definitely helps.
Yeah, that's a lot. My first thought is there is no such thing as growth without discomfort. So don't ever be afraid of change. Actually, I was just telling somebody about this. My favorite book that I've ever read, and it literally changed my life. It's called The Power of Now. And it's basically a book that describes how you'll never be able to actually be happy unless you're living in the present and not planning and fully embracing every moment and not thinking about the future. So instead of being worried about how it's going to go, just take it day by day and do the best that you can every single day to balance everything. And if you didn't handle it today, okay, handle it tomorrow. And then think about it tomorrow. Don't think about it today, because this is the really smart thing that my friend's therapist said. Why would you want to relive something twice? Because that's exactly what you're doing by having anxiety about it.
Wow, interesting.
How crazy is that? When you're having anxiety about something that you're going to need to do, just don't think about it. I know it's easier said than done, but why do you want to have to relive it twice? Like something not fun.
Or like 9 million times. Because when you have anxiety, it's like...
Right, exactly. So like, why do you want to relive it twice? Just deal with it when it gets there, because you thinking about it isn't going to change it. So the best, like, quite frankly, this is way above my pay grade, to be totally frank. I don't have a fiance. I'm not buying a house, that's for sure. So, and nor am I planning a wedding. But my advice would be take it day by day and just do the best that you can. Don't be too hard on yourself.
And I think also, I love that advice, but I do think that your husband or fiance might get comfortable being home with his parents.
Yeah.
And men sometimes do need a little push or kick in the ass.
Completely.
So I understand why you're hesitant, because he's kind of like, it's not a big deal because it's his family, so he's comfortable. But for you, you're going to be in someone else's space and someone else's home. So I understand how you have like a fire under your ass to like not be there for a while. So I think I would just like take the leadership role on like trying to find houses and like steering the ship a little bit, because men got comfortable and he might want to stay there for all you know.
Oh, if it were me, we would not be staying there.
We'll see. That's the thing.
No.
Like, I get not wanting to waste rent.
Not long. I mean, I understand. Yeah. Obviously, she's in a situation where she has to. Totally get that. I mean, if I were her, I would not be staying there long.
Same. 100%.
Absolutely
because
not. I want my own space.
Also, you're going to get... Well, no. I was going to say you're going to probably get, like, money from the wedding, so maybe he wants to save up for that, for the house. But you just have to, like, do your best to make sure that he kind of stays on your timeline. I know I know your advice was living in the now. And I'm like, timeline. But I guess I just think when there's another person involved, I worry that you might be uncomfortable with his parents and he might be really comfortable staying.
The only thing that I mean by living in the now is plan as best as you can every day. But if you're constantly freaking out about getting out of there, you're just going to make yourself miserable is my only point.
Yes, I
But there
agree.
definitely should be a plan in place that you take day by day. But if you overpower it and constantly overthink about the whole timeline constantly, it's just going to make you miserable.
Fair.
But 100% have a plan.
Yeah, and you don't need like a plan to the day.
Right.
Like, some people are like, we're getting 30 days away. We're 29 days away.
Not
It's like,
necessary.
yeah. It's like,
Do
relax.
have your plan and do the best that you can every day to fulfill it, but try not to relive it 10 times.
100%. I think we're on the same page. Audrey, it was so good having you on Tea with Publyssity.
Thank you so much for having me. This was so fun.
Where could everyone follow you and stay up to date?
I am at the Audrey Peters on all platforms.
Amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.
As you guys know, I've been talking about how the subway's been scaring me a lot lately. I actually city bike sometimes because I get kind of freaked out. So I'm partnering with Taser again because honestly, it is a brand that makes me feel really safe. I always have my Taser in my purse. The Taser Strike Light is available without a permit in most U.S. states. So you just kind of have to check and see if it's available in your state. You can get the Taser Strike Light at taser.com with promo code T and save 15% off now at taser.com. Promo code T, that's spelled TASER.com with promo code T. Restrictions apply, and you could see their website for details. But if you want to protect yourself as a woman and feel like you are making yourself feel a little bit more safe and a little bit more protected, I highly recommend. There's like a flashlight and a stun gun. They have all these different products. I personally have the Strike Light, and it makes me feel like I'm in control over my safety, which I like. If I'm ever feeling threatened on the street, I'll just like keep my hand in my purse on the Taser to hide it, just to feel safe. So again, you guys could just get that at taser.com. Okay, guys, it is time to spill the tea. So last night I did something I'm not really proud to admit, but also kind of proud of. It's a Hibbly. It's a hate it but love it. I kind of hate it. I kind of love that I did it. I spent $50 and I bought the Floyd Mayweather Logan Paul fight and watched it by myself. Not my proudest moment, but I need to be in the know.
Yeah.
That's just the way I am, like with pop culture.
Yeah.
I couldn't find out on Twitter. Like, I needed to see all 8 rounds. I needed to know because I needed to be a part of the conversation. Yeah. Did you watch it any chance?
I watched like a little part. I actually found, I didn't buy it, but I found like an illegal one on Twitter, and then it like got taken down like 10 minutes later. So I saw some of it, but I was just kind of, I still followed it along on like the tweets and stuff.
Yeah. I was just like, if Logan Paul, for whatever reason, pulls this off, I need to be part of this moment in history.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought, obviously I'm not like a sports commentator, guys, but just for you guys to know, Logan Paul, YouTuber, huge, looks like Owen Wilson, fought Floyd Mayweather, best boxer in the world, 50 fights undefeated, like world champ, all of these things. So I honestly thought Logan Paul like held his own.
Yeah.
Considering Floyd Mayweather is the biggest boxer in the entire world.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I thought the fact that he went 8 rounds.
Yeah.
I give it to him. People are like, oh, they were hugging the whole time. They were doing this. They were doing that. It's like, just give him a little credit.
Yeah.
He didn't get knocked out.
No.
He held his own. I think that's impressive.
No, I do too. I think it like the fact that he made it all 8 rounds is definitely partly a win for him.
And what's crazy, though, is how like Logan was dripping sweat by the 3rd round and Floyd Mayweather was just cool, calm, collected.
Yeah, he was fine.
18 years older, 6 inches shorter.
Right.
And he was like completely in control.
Yeah, exactly.
Which just goes to show why he's the best at what he does.
Right.
But even he said he was like, he fought harder than I anticipated.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it wasn't a total failure. I think if I was Logan Paul, I'd be proud of myself because it could have gone so much worse. If he got knocked out in the 1st or 2nd or 3rd round, he would have been like really embarrassed, I feel.
Yes.
And I think the fact that he held his own like says something.
Yeah, no, I definitely think like him going all 8 rounds is pretty crazy. For a
so
YouTuber,
crazy. Yeah.
It's insane.
So that is my thoughts on that. There is this picture that Tyler Cameron posted on Instagram where his like bulge. I keep using the word bulge, but I'm not going to be like his penis outline is showing. And these are the comments on it. So Colton Underwood commented, "So you and the horse have something in common, ? And then he put great hair.
Oh my God.
Andy Cohen said this pic is captivating. Jack Arnold, whoever that is, said, "We all see your horse too, bro," because he's with the horse. His brother said, "There are 2 horses in this photo."
That's so good.
Like, Tyler Cameron is always our midday meat,
Yes.
but like now he's literally our midday meat.
Oh,
like
yeah.
he in 2 ways.
It is the meat. Yeah.
So yeah, it's like, what's that commercial? Bring on the meat.
Oh yeah, I think it's Arby's.
Arby's. That should be Tyler Cameron's theme song.
Yeah, exactly.
And he is also our most popular submission
Oh,
for
really?
midday. I get Tyler Cameron photos sent to me every
my
time he
gosh.
posts. 45 people are like,
Yeah.
morning meat, midday meat, whatever.
Yeah.
If you guys are new here, midday, morning, and midnight meat is just when we DM each other pictures of hot guys. And then lastly, so I've recorded this on Monday. Tonight will be Katie's season of The Bachelorette, her whatever, not finale, what's it called? The first
Premiere.
episode,
Premiere, yeah.
And I don't know. I think I'll give you guys my thoughts during the Spill the Tea segment a little bit during weeks to come but this is the issue. Since my episodes come out Tuesday, it'll always be from the week before. So it feels kind of like dumb.
A little late.
Yeah, like it feels late. But I'll always give you guys my thoughts. I think that The Bachelor is the biggest Hibly that there can ever be, because I genuinely actually kind of have no desire to watch this season.
Yeah.
But
Me too.
it's like, again, like me buying Logan Paul's fight, I need to be in
Yeah,
the know. I
FOMO,
can't
yeah.
not know. And I need to know. I need to see how Tasha and Caitlyn go. Like, I just need to know.
I forgot about that. I thought it was funny. I didn't even realize that the premiere was tonight until yesterday.
Yesterday.
I saw it on Twitter and I just thought, how have they not been doing any promo for this?
Do you know, I feel the exact same. I saw like Tasha post something.
Yes, yeah.
Because I follow Tasha. And I was like, what?
Yeah, it was so, I was like, I feel like this, I should know about this more, unless
Because
I just haven't
no
been.
one cares. Like, it's just been such a shit show, and like, I'm not looking forward to having. I know it's no one's fault because this is the state of the world.
Right.
But every show that's come out so far in quarantine just hasn't been as good. Like all of the Housewives, all of the Bachelor, because let's be honest, there's a huge element missing, and that's traveling, and that's
Right.
different backdrops and things that make it interesting.
Yeah.
And I just feel like I'm not looking forward to another show that's like stuck in one location.
Yeah.
Although maybe with Caitlyn, what's her name? Katie. Maybe with Katie's season, they're able to do a little bit more since it was later on in the pandemic.
Yeah.
Like maybe they could do like helicopter rides around LA or,
Right,
whatever.
hopefully, yeah.
But I'm just, I'm not super looking forward to it. Nothing against Katie. It's more just like I have the Bachelor fatigue.
Yes.
I think we're
I
all
agree.
a little fatigued from it.
And I'm just not that jazzed about Katie either.
And she seems perfectly nice.
Yeah.
It's just more like we didn't know her that. Like,
Exactly.
it's not like we were championing.
Championing?
Champion-
Wait, I don't know actually. I thought I had that.
Championing.
Yeah.
Championing.
Yeah, that's it.
Her, like as we do with other people, where
Yeah.
you get behind them and you're rooting for them. And
Right.
we kind of only saw her for a few episodes.
Yeah.
And I don't know. We'll see. So maybe I'll talk to you guys a little bit about it. Let me know. You could DM me. Let me know if you want my thoughts or not. And as a reminder, I am breaking down The Real Housewives of New York season, whatever this is, season 13, every week on The Binge. It's my new show with Pat. So it's a digital show. So you could just follow us on Instagram. We post our episodes, our little Real Housewives recaps on Instagram. And then they also go live on YouTube. So that's all she wrote for today. So follow me on TikTok, Instagram. I realize I never plug my own social media channels. If you guys are listening to the podcast every week, definitely follow me on Instagram so you could DM me when I do my Q&As and stuff. And then we do have a Tea Tribe Facebook group that is a like small, close-knit group of women that just talk about like, I don't know, like they plan meetups and they talk about boys and we talk about weight and we talk about dating profiles. Like it's just such a cool group of women. So if you're interested in joining, everything is always linked in my bio. And I will talk to you guys next week.